All right, I've got another interesting farm for you today that I was testing yesterday on stream, and it came out pretty dang good. So we farmed 425 Blight-Ravaged maps in just 20 maps. I redid the pricing today on all the Scarabs to make sure that the information was up to date, and when I went to have a look, it seems that the Blight-Ravaged prices have gone up since when I did it. As you can see, this is yesterday's screenshot that's marked at 73 divine, but the prices went up from 27 to 33. So this is current, and this is not current. We're sitting around 82. It looks like they're actually up to 35, so be closer to like 83, 84, but we'll just put the results at 82. I think that's fine. As you can see from the Twitch VOD here, the Blight Ravaged maps are sitting at 27C. So it looks like, even though I don't have these items in my tab anymore, when I logged on today with this page still up, this bottom part updated while the top part did not. But I don't have these items in my tab anymore, so I cannot press refresh to make all this current. So yes, this is what we're sitting at with today's prices. All of these maps liquidate very, very quickly within 5 to 10 minutes at the most. You just toss them in Faustus and they're gone very, very quickly. One of the reasons I gave up on this farm in 3.25 when I was initially messing with it is because you had to trade through TFT, which I hated. But now with Faustus, this is a great farm. You just throw them in Faustus and they're gone. Very, very easy. The bulk of your currency will come from Blight Ravaged maps. You'll also drop a pretty decent amount of divines. It was surprisingly good. I tested more than 20 maps in a different version, and I also dropped quite a few divines, so I do think this is honest. But when I switched to the Plenty Scarabs, I started dropping quite a bit more. It felt like it was doing better. Get some Nightmare maps, obviously. We're running a map farm here. You'll get an occasional Black Barrier from the Mirage. I got a bunch of stacked decks from the Deli Orb that I was running. And some Blighted maps. We are doing a Plenty farm, so you will get some Divination cards. I think the profits for this could be improved if you chose a better scry, as I did not scry my map. I just ran with the natural scry that was on the map. And then you get some oils, some invitations, some more Blighted maps. Probably got a little lucky with Scarabs here. But the rest of this is pretty much just generic junk, and then as we go down, it pretty much falls off completely, and we're just picking up some random Scarabs here and there. So we will take a look at the breakdown of everything. I paid 40 chaos in average for the maps. For the most part, I got them for 20 to 25, but I did pay 60 for a few, so I just met myself in the middle there and said I paid 40 for all of them for a total of 800 chaos for 20 maps. I was using the Blight Scarab of Blooming. I was using 3 Plenty, 1 Escalation, and 3 Astrolabes. On top of that, I was using the stacked deck Deli Orb. I think you could improve the profits if you added multiple Deli Orbs. I haven't really done the math. I guess we could do it real quick here. Stacked deck, 440. You get 8 rewards. 8 times 4C, 32. Plus, you get to go in the Mirage for another, 6 rewards or so, which would add, another 20 or chaos or so. Whereas the Deli Orb here, Deli Orb for stacked deck is 38C. So surely, if you include the Mirage into this, you would get a very, very small amount of profit. So you could add another 20 or 30 quantity to your map and improve your results by quite a bit while not losing anything at all. As a matter of fact, I think you would profit slightly off of these. So it would be quite a bit better results than what I got. All right, so with all that being said, with today's prices, I would have made 84, but I did the math off 82, so we're going to stick with 82. This comes out to 75.2 divine in profit and a 3.76 divine per map. Again, you can improve this by adding those Deli Orbs. I was just experimenting with this, so it's definitely not fully fleshed out or anything, but I think you could push this up quite a bit by adding more Delirium Orbs if your build can handle it. And then here is where it gets a little dicey. I wasn't really quite sure how to do this. I did some gambles in between. There was a patch that went through. In general, I couldn't really look at stream time to see how long this took me, so I had to do some kind of weird math. Basically, if the map has a Mirage, it takes me about 6 minutes, roughly, a little under, I think, mostly, but if it doesn't have a Mirage, it takes me half that time. So I just kind of met myself in the middle here and said that it was 5-minute maps on average, because right around 25% of the time I don't get a Mirage. So I think this is pretty fair. I also think 6 minutes is overshooting it a little bit based on my memory. So we'll go ahead and say 5-minute maps. But keep in mind, if you put on more deli orbs, you can improve this. If you choose a better scry, you could also improve this. So I do think this is pretty fair. Eventually, you will find a good divination card. You are running plenty scarabs, so eventually a good divination card will drop and it'll pump these numbers up. I think this is being pretty fair with today's prices. As always, you can go to the link listed down below that will take you to my Twitch, and then you can see this live if you want to see how these maps looked. I tested the entire thing live on stream, but this is a farm I had been working on sort of since 3.25. I had tested it here and there. I initially tried it with Multitude Scarabs, but the Blight-Ravaged blooming thing doesn't really respect the Multitude, and so I had kind of given up on it, and then I had the idea to use ore nodes yesterday, and it gave this a shot. I thought I was a real big brain, but apparently Slippery Jim tried something like this last league. I didn't know about that, but either way, this is the whole start of this is me trying that strategy, and it didn't work out quite as well. So I ended up changing it up towards the end, and here towards the end, you can see the version that I ran for the results that I just showed you. This is going to be on layer using plenty scarabs and not the ore nodes. And yeah, if you want to see how the maps went, you can browse through and take a look at what this farm is going to look like in full. We will be using a Blight Scarab of Blooming for the Tier 14 plus blighted maps to drop as Blight-Ravaged maps. We will use this in combination with Blight Reach so that the moment you complete a Blight, you will have 1 minute to kill as many enemies on the map as you possibly can. As you can see there in the bottom grayed out text, Blight Reach grants a chance for maps found to drop as blighted maps instead. Blight Reach lasts for 60 seconds. So what this means is the moment you complete the breach, you go through, you kill every other monster in the map, or kill all the monsters in the map. They will drop blighted maps due to this, and then through Blight Scarab of Blooming, those blighted maps will then be converted up into Blight-Ravaged maps instead. Aside from that, you will use 3 Divination Scarabs of Plenty, and then a Cartography Scarab of Escalation. The skill tree will look like this. Again, I am not completely set on stone on this. This is completely experimental yesterday. If I were to do this again, I don't know what I would change on the skill tree. Actually, I think I like this skill tree. I would certainly add 2 or 3 more delirium orbs. That's for sure. I could pump the profits up quite a bit like that. But as far as the skill tree goes, I actually think I got this into a pretty good place while playing yesterday. I'm not sure what I would really change. So I think you're probably good to copy this. But feel free to scour it, look over it, and see if you think you can make any improvements. I'm sure something could be improved. But anyways, you're just taking all the blight stuff, trying to get some oils and maps, increase your rewards from the blight itself. You're going to take all of the map tier ups, and then you're just going to take a bunch of the increased map drop rates throughout the tree, as well as some Eldritch and explicit effect. Pretty straightforward. All right, so I'll give you a live demonstration of a map real quick, and then I'll talk about some of the things that I learned about this. The requirements for this is you need to be able to survive getting to the Blight without killing anything. So you're definitely going to need some sort of phasing, as well as a little bit of life regen. For me, I just threw on a life regen flask. I'll talk about some of the changes I made to make this easier here in a little bit. But yeah, you're just trying to get to the Blight without killing anything. And then once you get to the Blight, you'll drop a portal, and then you'll kill whatever's around the Blight. So you can start to run the Blight. Looks like I missed my snapshot on my minion there. But we'll go ahead and finish this Blight up, and then as soon as you complete the Blight, it's go time. Now you're going to go through and complete the entire map within a minute. For me, I found this strategy really, really fun. I mean, it's just kind of a blast going through and killing everything within a minute and sort of having that little challenge every map. Certainly not going to be a strategy for everyone, but I personally really enjoyed it. It was a very blasty, fun strategy, and you get to find divination cards from the Plenty Scarabs, as well as just a shit ton of profit from the Blight-Ravaged maps. In practice, this felt pretty easy to do. I think there might have been one where I didn't get like 10% of the map done. If you're on a fast build, even when I wasn't getting acceleration shrines, it felt very easy to clear this entire map within a minute. Layers of very nice layout that is not too hard to clear. We still have 13 seconds left, or it was like 15 seconds up there on that Blight-Reach. You can see my mouse hovering over it. It is sort of hard to track the Blight-Reach with all of the Charlatan buffs, but anyways, that's how you'll do the map. Once that's done, you'll go into the Mirage and then do it again. It'll repeat, go in the Mirage, do the same thing again, run to Cassia without killing anything once you get to her, put up your Blade Vortex, complete the breach, and then just blast through the Mirage and pick up a shit ton of Blight-Ravaged maps and all of the other good, Mirage loot that you get. All right, so some things that I learned to make this easier. Personally, for me, I found that there was one mod that was very, very annoying, and that is grasping vines on hit. So if you go into acrobatics, this is one way that you can bring your dodge up a little bit and actually be able to dodge some of those hits as you're running in. Estimated chance to dodge spells, 60%. Pretty solid. It'll help you a lot with grasping vines, as if you were playing my build or another build similar, the action speed cannot be modified below base value. If you're using temporal chains, it does not respect the grasping vines on hit mod that you get from 16.5s. However, you can dodge the spells that come from the plenty Scarab cards that shoot the purple shit at you, right? You can dodge those with acrobatics, and then you aren't getting slowed constantly while running in. This was a lifesaver for me. The reason why this is important to know is because grasping vines on hit is a 40% map roll, so you are going to be running into it a lot. You're going to want a solution for this, or else you're going to have a horrible time getting to Cassia sometimes. You'll just be getting slowed over and over again, and it's very, very annoying. So I recommend trying acrobatics. It's very good for this. Aside from that, I also decided to drop my evasion suffix for a regenerate 3% of life per second during effect on my Mage Blood, bringing me up to a total of 650 life regen. This was also massively helpful for doing this farm as you are running in, just not doing any leeching at all because you are not killing anything. So some form of regen is very, very helpful. Lastly, your regex will be your own. Regex out whatever you need to, but make sure that you do regex out buffs on players expire faster. It seems that the Blight-Reach is a buff and that it expires very, very quickly within like 30 seconds, so you will get very little use out of it based on what I saw yesterday. As well as that, if you're running the Charlatan build, this is also annoying because all of your shrines just get deleted super quick, which means you're losing all of your speed and defense. So make sure you regex this one out, and everything else is, whatever your build can handle. The trade filter that I used to buy this, I'll link it in the details below. But I was just looking for originator maps. I was looking for 100% more maps. I was looking for tier 16s. Obviously, you want 40% pack size or more. And maybe you could drop this down. This is just what I was looking for. Maybe if prices get expensive, change some of this around. But I want not buffs expire faster and players have minus to all maximum resistances. Now you could run this. I just find it it's a little challenging because you're sprinting through a bunch of packs of monsters. So this is a pretty nasty one to have on there. So I personally didn't run it. But if we go have a look, I will accept both 6 mod and 8 mods. Very simply, if it's 6 mod, you apply Delirium Orbs. If it's 8 mod, you don't. I actually overestimated my prices because I wasn't running entirely 6 mods. I was running some 8 mods in there, so my Deli Orb prices were less than what I showed. Again, just another way that the numbers would be pumped up slightly, but either way, you can see I was buying a bunch for like 15 to 25, and then I went through and bought a bunch of the stock, and eventually I started paying like up to 60 for them. So if it gets any more than 60, I would say just start self-rolling them. Right, like there's not a ton here, so you could either bring the numbers down, or lastly, just self-roll. Probably be much easier to find like a 30% pack size. Yeah, you could find shit tons of these. But yeah, if not, then just self-roll them yourself. Roll for like probably 40, and no pack size, and then just exalt your way into the 100 once you are rolling through your maps. Hit something like this, and then use an exalted orb to fill out the rest of your modifiers to try and hit up more maps is probably how I would roll these. I don't think I'd pay more than somewhere in the 60 to 80 range for him. I think you could sell for him for cheaper at that point. Quick little bonus here. I know I mentioned that I was going to try Pure Harvest with Twist of Fate. I did end up trying it on stream. It came out to around 33 to 35 divine per hour. This was over the course of 60 maps. They were very fast maps. That is one kind of cool thing about it, is you can go very quickly. But Twist of Fate operates differently than what I thought. I thought if you bought an 8-mod map, then it would re-roll those 8 mods and then add 1 to 3, making it a 9 to 11 mod map. But that is not how it functions. No matter what map you use, it will re-roll between 4 to 6 mods, and then it will have a 25% chance to hit 8 mods. So while it was still good, it was not as good as I thought it was going to be. I didn't know that's how Twist of Fate operated. So that farm came out okay. I just used all Grief, Ignorance, Rage, Fragments, Hope, doubling, some Astrolabes, and I used 3 risks throughout the farm when I hit some really, really big Astrolabes, and I forgot to subtract costs from this, but yeah, it was around like 33 divine per hour. It wasn't bad, but I think you could probably do Pure Harvest better. And that's it. And that's the whole farm. Something I've been messing around with since 3.25, and finally returned to it, and it came out really, really good. So if you try it, I hope you have fun with it. And that'll probably be the last farm that I experiment with for a little bit, as the gauntlet is coming out today. So I'll probably be on that, getting my ass kicked a little bit. And yeah, I'll see you all till see you all in the next one I make.